Hello everybody, it's me, Phyzik, and welcome back to Phyzik Talks. Thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed today's video, please do leave it a like and subscribe if you want to help support me and my channel. If you want to go a step further than that, you can join my Patreon or donate to PayPal. Links in the description. So, today, we're going to be talking about Onision's Keemstar interview, because I'm intrigued. He's also done a follow-up video, so I'm intrigued to look at both of these things, but we'll see what we have time for today. Let's start off with the Keemstar interview. Let's take a peek at it with our eyes, with our vision. Let's do it. Okay. I'm sorry, can I just say, with Keemstar and his huge amount of subscribers and his massive popularity, why are his thumbnails so awful? They're actually disgusting. They make me feel physically sick. They're so bad. I just don't understand. With all your resources, why would you have the most awful thumbnails? It's bizarre. So, I've been intrigued to see what he would say in a Keemstar interview. It's always been something I've wondered about. So now, we finally get the chance. So without any ado, or any further ado, let's get right down to brass tacks.
Is Onision just a mean, horrible person, or is he actually a criminal?
It doesn't matter. Yes, obviously he's an awful, bad person, but it doesn't matter whether this is technically a crime or technically illegal. It's like in certain countries, technically the age of consent is 12 years old. But that doesn't mean it's right. This is actually quite interesting that he's said this, because Onision follows this logic of, oh, if it's legal, that means it's fine. Cannabis, illegal. Therefore,
it'll kill you, it'll destroy your brain cells, it'll ruin your family, you'll end up on the streets, a homeless beggar, obviously.
It's not like half the world smokes cannabis and a large portion of that actually has huge medicinal benefits to doing it. No, it's illegal. Bad. Illegal. Bad. That's what we're dealing with Onision. He will skirt around the law to manipulate it for his own benefit. Let's move on.
You are right now the most hated YouTuber. Do you think that's true? And if so, why?
I think I've been that way for a very, very long time, and that's because I have trouble being normal on camera. I have the tendency to blow up my personality or exaggerate.
Well, let's not skirt around the issue here. It's not because you have a bit of a difficult personality. No, you're a rude, heartless, cold person at the end of the day. It's not like you have a little bit of difficulty with social interactions. No, you're genuinely just a bad person. And let's not also hide behind you having a different personality because you're running a YouTube channel. Yeah, no, I know Onision's talked about how when you're behind a camera, you act differently. But I don't really believe Onision's that different in his videos to in reality. I just don't. And besides, there's a lot of stuff that he does away from the camera that is the real issue here anyway. He's the most hated because he's done bad things time and time again. Yes, I feel in some ways a lot of stuff gets blown out of proportion, and I feel that's probably even the same with Onision and everything. I do think that some of this stuff gets completely out of hand, and then because people hate him so much, they'll just go along with it, even if it's not the most true statement.
So why do you go out of your way to make people hate you? You're really egging people on. You want people to be mad at you.
You're dealing with a person who doesn't see the value in people wanting to like them or anything like that.
So he's awful to people because he doesn't see the value in people liking him? I mean, you run a YouTube channel. So, do you actually, from the very start, have you actually not cared if people like what you create? Because that's evident now. That's very clearly how he operates now. It is so plain to see that he doesn't give a damn about what his audience thinks, and it's gone to a point where he actually doesn't care about his own audience. He'll disable comments, he'll disable the likes just because he gets negative ones, so therefore anyone with anything positive to say doesn't get a chance. The only way to really interact with him is by joining his Patreon or paying him money in some way, shape or form. It's kind of like, well, you've just defeated the entire point of having a YouTube channel. That's the joy of being a YouTuber. You can have this connection with your audience. And yeah, Onision says, well, how could I possibly know each one of the million subs I have? How can I say that I like you or that I love my fans if I don't know you all individually? That's not the point. That's not how this works, you big Dumbo. You're not supposed to know every one of your fans. That doesn't mean that you can't respect them and enjoy them as people and communicate them in your comments. I get lots of lovely comments. It makes my day. I enjoy it very much.
It's just to create whatever I think is funny or interesting and not please people, but rather just make sure I'm doing what I feel is worthwhile, worth saying, or something that's different than what every other content creator may be involving themselves in.
But, you know, I think Onision actually is very much purposefully controversial just to be the one with a different opinion. I think he gets a kick out of being someone with a different opinion to everyone else. So he can basically just piss on everyone. Anyone with a different opinion, he can just say, hey, well, you're an idiot, though, because you have the opinion that other people do. I have the alternative opinion, which means I'm cool, and you're all dumb, and I'm the coolest guy, because I don't believe that. I believe my own stuff, because I'm so cool. Give me a break.
When this story first came out, September 5th, 2019, how come you didn't respond to this like right away? Why did you just keep quiet about this?
I was under threat of being left by my spouse if I said anything.
Really? That sounds just like, you know, not a thing. Really? Like Kai said that he would leave you if you made a video about this? Like what? Like we now know that when Sarah came out and said, hey, leave them alone, they haven't done anything wrong, she was put under a lot of pressure and she was in tears after the video we now see in the full version. This is something I've been thinking a lot about recently. Why now does Onision happen to have truckloads of information that makes Sarah seem like the bad guy in this? Why now does he suddenly have all these things to say about her? My opinion is that none of it's really that true, and he's only saying this now because the pressure has been ramped up to 1,000,000%. I completely understand why Keemstar would ask this, because yeah, after all this started going down, Onision was just quiet about everything, but then he had a lot to say about it.
It's enormously debunked. I made a 30-minute video just showing how many times Sarah repeatedly said that nothing happened even when she was well into being 18. She said repeatedly that she was not groomed. She even said if anyone was groomed, it was us.
Okay, well, this is another interesting thing to comment on. People started chucking around the term, you know, groomer or grooming a lot, to the extent where that is now just seen as what Onision did. I don't really care if he groomed her. That's not the reason why I'm so annoyed. I'm really aggravated because she was a very young girl with huge problems in her home life. She was a vulnerable young girl, and there is this very clear pattern of Onision engaging with incredibly young, vulnerable girls. And, you know, very young, vulnerable girl that lived a very long way away and was moved a huge distance to then live in this house where there's this 30-year-old man being rude, berating her, and then finally bullying her excessively, and then going on to then make sexual comments, then going on to make it an environment where she didn't know if she wanted to leave or to stay, and then to a point where she finally had sex with him. It's like, what a long and awful, arduous process that was. Just bullying her, someone who's in such a vulnerable position. And Onision said that he bullied her to create a distance between the two of them so there was no attraction or whatever. It's like, that's not how this world works. You were very clearly abusing her to the point where she didn't know what to do with herself. You essentially wasted years of this young girl's life by putting her in the most confusing and weird abusive scenario. No wonder she was crying out for help and all this. Like, you have no compassion compassion or empathy. It's insane that you would put this girl through all of this horrible stuff and then just be like, nah, actually, she was the bad person. She was awful. I'm scared of her. She was gonna murder me and my family. Yeah. That is such a likelihood. Wow. Wowee. Wow, I'm so scared.
Any police officer or agent or whatever could simply look at her repeatedly saying she was never groomed and repeatedly saying that nothing ever happened.
Yeah, but one of these instances where she made a video saying, hey, these guys are innocent, leave them be, she was crying after it because of the amount of pressure she felt in making that.
God, I hate that I have to do this.
So you can't trust that. That's not something you can look at and say, oh, clearly there were no problems. And can we, I hate how the term groomer has got so big involved in this situation, because now that's all that anyone is focusing on. That's all that Onision is focusing on, whether he groomed her or not, when this isn't really the issue. Like he said, to groom her, how could I have groomed her when I was bullying her senseless? Like, this isn't the point. Let's get away from this exact definition and just focus on the fact that you abused her, you tormented her for years.
You did, in fact, have sex with her when she was 18 and 5 months, I believe.
I don't know if I said 18 and 5 months.
No, he said 18 and a half. Who says that? Who says stuff like that? Oh, it's fine then. 18 and a half. Wowee! That makes it all okay. You were tormenting her for years and then slept with her, which, wouldn't mess with her head at all. But it's all fine because she was 18 and a half. You were celebrating her 18 and a halfth birthday.
Sarah said that even well into being 18, we did not have sex. She was saying 18 and 5 months.
What do you mean, even well into being 18? You can't be well into being 18. That doesn't change anything. That's just a matter of months. Do you really think that makes a difference? If you think that makes a difference, then we've got a real problem.
She was repeatedly pointing out that Kai had rejected her, over and over and over again. And Sarah repeatedly said how badly she wanted to be with Kai in these texts.
Well, I mean, is that not an issue that she would so desperately want to be with Kai? If there wasn't a possibility of that happening, then she wouldn't be approaching that in any way. That she should not have any kind of thought in her head that she could possibly be with Kai. If there was even an issue of that, why would you become her legal guardian and then invite her to live with you? If she was clearly into Kai, why would Kai, as her legal guardian, then invite her to live with them? If she knew there was going to be that kind of a problem, there would have been nothing happening here. None of this would have happened. But because you two clearly know that at some point you could sleep with her, then yeah, you went ahead with it because you're both that twisted. So well done for that. Well done for screwing up this girl's head. Nice job, guys. Haha, good work.
And Kai multiple times expressed to me that when he thought of being with Sarah, he felt like vomiting because it was such a uncomfortable situation.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's not true. Do I have proof of that? No. But get out. Just shut up and get out. If you think that Kai was in any way going to be physically sick because of Sarah's advances, shut up. If anything, Kai would have found it incredibly hard to resist because there was obviously a large attraction between Kai and Sarah. Let's not mess around here, guys. You don't need to lie and say that she was going to vomit because of her advances. Just what? That wouldn't even be a thing. Kai would have said, hey, there's no chance of anything happening between us, so don't try it. But then Onision makes a video following up on this where he goes into more detail. Let's have a look at that now.
Apparently at one point, Kai was in a video or a live stream saying that he was a guardian of Sarah, but not me. I guess the good news about that is that Kai never actually slept with Sarah, so there's literally nothing there. In fact, all Sarah ever did is that when she was 18 and a half, or 18 and 5 months, if you don't know how to round to the nearest half.
Shut up, mate. She was just 18, yeah? No one says 18 and a half. That clearly shows that you understand how problematic it is for her to be that age. Otherwise, you wouldn't need that half a year difference. You're basically just showing your cards here. You're showing, oh, it was obviously a problem that she was 18, so I'll say she was 18 and a half. Problem solved! Wow! Look how I fixed that issue. Haha! Aren't legalities fun? I can just skirt around the law if I want to. Haha! Fooled you all!
Sarah put her mouth on Kai downstairs after being enormously pressured into doing it, and when Sarah forced her boob into Kai's mouth...
This isn't how the world works, mate. Like, either Kai is absolutely lying to you about all of this, or you're lying to all of us. Either way, it's bad. There wouldn't have been this scenario, because Kai, in any rational world, would have said, look, there's no chance between us, it doesn't really matter how old you are, it's just not going to happen, I'm sorry. But, oh, no, she got a kiss in there? Oh, and now suddenly they're topless? No! Kai would have just said no! Obviously, there was an interest in Kai and Sarah. God!
Kai tried not to vomit, and after it happened, Kai went in the bathroom and cried. I was there to see it.
What are you talking about? Oh, someone tried kissing me, so now I'm gonna throw up and cry. Or something... like, what? Was she crying because she liked her but didn't want to make a move because of Onision or something? Like, none of this makes sense, mate. This isn't how things go down.
Fact of the matter is that since Sarah turned 18, she was pushing really hard to be with Kai.
Oh, I wonder whose fault that is. I wonder. Oh, was it maybe Kai's fault? For clearly giving her the wrong impression. My God. How can you possibly be in any way blaming this on Sarah? Very clearly, Kai made it apparent that she had feelings for Sarah since she was like 15 and they were sharing nudes between each other. Oh, so maybe that's the reason why any of this has happened. Maybe don't move a vulnerable girl miles to live with you, which is obviously giving her the wrong idea, and then share nudes between each other, giving each other the wrong idea, and then be all cuddly and snuggly all the time. Maybe that's how she got the idea that there was some sort of attraction here. Woo! Oh no, it's all Sarah's fault. Ha! Sarah, you big Dumbo. You ruined both of our lives. God damn it, how could you?
For him. So, again, when you have these receipts of somebody saying this to you, and you have a video of them saying on camera, clearly not under duress, clearly completely calm and composed, that nothing ever happened, and they're an adult when they're saying this, that nothing ever happened with Kai. And
I assume you're talking about the video where Sarah came out and said, look, these guys are fine, they're innocent, don't, leave them be. What are you talking about? She wasn't calm in that video. She was in tears at how badly she didn't want to have to say these things, like there was a gun to her head. Oh yeah, very calm, that one. What? Like, actually, what?
You're dealing with a bunch of people who, instead of going to the police initially, instead of handling this with a lawyer, they went to the masses and clout chased and started GoFundMes.
Well, this shouldn't have to be something that is taken to the police. That shouldn't in any way be something that should happen from this scenario. Really, you should just say sorry if I ever caused any problems, and I'm sure that Sarah isn't, I'm sure that Sarah isn't 100% innocent in all this. I'm sure in some way she's lashing out at you, and I'm sure in some way she might be stretching some facts. But just because she did that doesn't mean that, one, she's a clout chaser. Like, she's not a clout chaser. That is just the absolute wrong way of describing her, and it's just a really shallow attempt deflecting any of the points she has against you. You've done wrong here, mate. You've done so many things wrong in this situation. You've been an awful person to Sarah, and you've really messed up many, many years of her life, and probably her ability to have relationships at any point in the future. So, yeah, you've got something to apologize for. Yeah. Maybe you should be held responsible for this, which is exactly what's happening now. But you've flipped completely to a point where you are just denying any of this and saying that she's a horrible, terrible person. I don't care about your receipts. They don't really explain anything other than you put her in a horribly corrupt and abusive environment from a very young age when she came from a very vulnerable home where you literally said that her mum beat her.
As the Keemstar interview will reveal to you, the reason that she moved in with us is because she said that her mom beat her.
So you take her out of that environment and then decide to bully her repeatedly for years? It sounds like you're a bad guy. That's all I see from this. You're a bad person. The sooner you accept that, the sooner other people will accept you.
The problem is that everyone and all information points to this person being rejected even well into being 18. So when people push the grooming agenda, it doesn't make any sense because there has to be some evidence that this person was actually prepared for a sexual relationship as a minor.
Again, I don't give a crap about the definition of the word grooming, but there is evidence of that. You literally invited her to live with you when she came from a vulnerable home where she was of a very young age and where Kai was already sharing nudes between the two of you. That is very clearly the initiation of grooming. That's the exact definition of it. You know, preparing someone for the right age when you can actually sleep with them. Until then, we'll just have to do a little bit of foreplay. But for you, you don't understand how what you've done is wrong. You think that because you bullied her instead of made sexual advances to her, that is somehow fine and not grooming and therefore not a problem. No! What you did is equally as bad. To the point where you can say that what you were doing is just abuse. Inviting a girl away from her home to live with you and then to just bully the sense out of her, that's a massive problem. And then it's only made so much worse when you then sleep with her as soon as she turns 18. 18 and a half. No, as soon as she turns 18. If she was 19, then that's a little bit after. But any time in the space of her being 18 is when she has just turned 18. So get out of here with that 18 and a half crap. And again, that just shows you understand the problem with it. To bully her for many years, to abuse her, and then to sleep with her is equally grooming in my eyes. Just get real, man. Christ. Anyway, that's my bit on the Keemstar interview. I might look into that other video I showed you a little clip of as well, but that's just my 2 cents on the matter for now. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have, please do leave it a like and subscribe if you want to help support me and my channel. If you want to go a step further than that, you can donate to my PayPal, links in the description. It's not like Patreon, it's just single donations, and you can leave a message and I can give you a shout out. So I also have Patreon, links in the description. Sorry to have to plug these things, but you know, the how bad YouTube is as a platform, I'm afraid I have to do this more regularly than I used to. Thank you so much, guys. I will see you in the next one. Take care now. Bye bye.